Well, in 1974, my wife Sharon and I decided with two other friends that the university business wasn't ours and we needed to strike out on our own. And so, long story short, we did the business prospectus and set up a regional agriculture newspaper, weekly paper called Farm Talk in Parsons. And that was well, the first issue was in February of 1974. And I decided at that time that I would like to have a humorous column in the paper. And we decided on a pseudonym of Milo Yield, and decided the column should be called View in the Field by Milo Yield. And I did that, started just because I wanted to do it. Just thought it'd be fun. And it became a very popular paper, and a column in the paper. And as the paper grew and grew, why, pretty soon people started asking, could Milo Yield come talk to our 4-H club or our FFA or our co-op? Well, I was in the process of growing a business, and so I didn't turn down an opportunity to put Farm Talk's name out in front of rural customers, so I started doing it. Well, then pretty soon, there got to be so many of them, and I better start charging a little bit of money to maybe slim it down a little bit. And so I started off charging $25 or $50, and lo and behold, it didn't slow anything down. They just kept asking for me to come and entertain them, and so I just kept upping my fee and raised my fee to $100 and $200, $150, $250, and I just kept doing that through the time until 1985. I decided that it was time to do a little something different, and so I cashed out of Farm Talk and we sold it. And I stayed on until 89 for the new people that we sold it to, but I kept doing the column. And I also kept expanding my business, the public speaking business. And, gradually word of mouth was actually the best advertisement, but I would put some small ads in livestock publications or co-op magazines, but word of mouth really was the best. And I just kept doing more and more and expanding out farther. And during the farm crisis of the 1980s, why, I did some serious speaking too about farm economics and so forth, and some of the farm groups that were involved with the farm crisis would ask me to come speak to them. And so I did. I was kind of a combination, and there were times I would go and speak to a group and give a serious talk in the afternoon as Thane Cozart, and one in the evening entertain them as Milo Yield. And eventually got up to where I seldom did one for under $300, and I think probably the most that I ever got for a speaking fee was $2,000. And I spoke from Elizabeth City, a black college in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, to Chico, California, up in Pullman, Washington. I eventually got up into Ontario and Manitoba, Canada. When we sold, after we sold Farm Talk in '85, and I was going to more freelance stuff and public speaking full time, why I decided I needed a business entity to create it under. So Sharon and I formed Thought and Laugh Enterprises, which shortened to the acronym TAILS Inc. and it exists still to this day, although we've unincorporated it, but it still exists to this day. And we needed a slogan, so we had Milo Yield, thoughtful bull, tastefully slung. And we had t-shirts and hats and jackets made out of with that slogan on it. And but some of the more memorable public speaking engagements, probably the most fun ever was the State FFA convention in McCain Auditorium at Manhattan. there was like 1,800, 2,000 FFA people, and they were in the mood for a party. And I usually made a point to the people who hired me, or the people who were the board of directors on the co-op, or the people in charge, make sure that they got skewered a little bit by me when I spoke, because all the members thought that was funny to tell a story about them or something, and they would just make one up, but it was funny to do that. And but it was, I just did it. When we moved to Iowa, then in 1990, and with my new job, I still kept writing my columns and doing public speaking, and had a whole new audience up in Iowa and Minnesota and Wisconsin and the Dakotas and Indiana and Ohio that was easier to get to, and a whole new rural group to start picking clients from. And we just kept doing that, and the fees, they became good enough that if you did 20 or 30, 40 a year, why, it was, decent income. And when we moved back to Kansas then in 2004, I kept it up. And then about, 2008 or 9, I got laid low by labyrinthitis, which affected my hearing and my balance. And I decided, well, the public speaking, it just got to go. It wasn't feasible to do it. And so we quit that. But I still write the columns to this day. I write exclusively for Farm Talk as Viewing the Fields by Milo Yield, which has been forever. And all the other publications that a pub run it, the column runs under the name of Laugh Tracks in the Dust.